I'm Danny Epperson, and I'm inside the fabulous Commodore Dinner Theater in downtown Portsmouth. Thanks for joining me for WHRO's Cinema 15 and our presentation of 1983's The Big Chill. When The Big Chill hit theaters in 1983, an entire generation got goosebumps. The film struck a chord with the counterculture children of the 60s who had grown up to become the mainstream adults of the 80s. For some, it raised tough questions about sticking to your principles versus selling out for security. But for many, it was just plain fun. A perfect Hollywood cocktail of comedy, drama, and nostalgia. And it proved to millions of people that doing the dishes could be fun. In the early 80s, Lawrence Kasdan was best known for writing blockbusters like The Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark. After the critical and commercial success of his steamy directorial debut, Body Heat, Kasdan cooled things down with his follow-up. Co-writing The Big Chill with Barbara Benedek, Kasdan drew on his own personal history to craft the plot. It's about 7 former University of Michigan college housemates who reunite 15 years after graduation for the funeral of their close friend Alex. Over a long weekend, they reflect, reconnect, and rediscover what brought them together in the first place. But they also mourn the loss of their youth and learn to come to terms with the upwardly mobile adults they have become. The script proved irresistible for a collection of up-and-coming actors who would go on to become superstars, icons, and Oscar winners. Kevin Kline, Glenn Close, Jeff Goldblum, William Hurt, Tom Berenger, Mary Kay Place, JoBeth Williams, and Meg Tilly. Together, they create a convincing, tight-knit group who seem to genuinely like each other. The Big Chill earned 3 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and a Best Supporting Actress nod for Glenn Close. I'll be back after the movie to tell you about the wildly popular Big Chill sequel that was never shown in theaters. But for now, hit the lights. Stretch out on that comfy couch. Get ready to spend a few hours reminiscing with old friends in The Big Chill. As they say in the 80s, what a totally awesome movie. I'm with Jeff Goldblum on that one. If I was invited to Harold and Sarah's house, I would never leave either. Lawrence Kasdan originally intended for the film to end with a flashback of the friends celebrating Thanksgiving together in college. The scene was actually the first one shot during production and included Alex, played by newcomer Kevin Costner. But once Kasdan saw the finished film, he realized that the flashback didn't help the movie at all, and he cut it out. You can still see Costner, or at least his hairline, in the opening credits. For the movie's lead actors, working on The Big Chill was a remarkable experience. Before production started, the director gathered his ensemble for 4 weeks of rehearsal. 2 weeks at Columbia Studios and 2 weeks on location in Beaufort, South Carolina. That much rehearsal time was almost unheard of for a Hollywood film, but Kasdan felt it was absolutely necessary. Once the cameras started rolling in South Carolina, cast members were asked to spend every day on set, regardless of whether or not they were slated to be in front of the camera. The actors were paired up in nearby houses or as roommates. The home shared by Jeff Goldblum and Kevin Kline became the default party house where the 7 gathered to carouse, sing, and dance. The chemistry between the cast of The Big Chill didn't happen by accident. Kasdan designed it.
He said, I just demand you all be kind to one another. You know, it was very important to him. And so he set up an atmosphere that was actively, aggressively humane and communal.
While the film had an impressive run in the theaters, the soundtrack of The Big Chill turned out to be an even bigger blockbuster. The director's wife, Meg Kasdan, curated a collection of pop and Motown favorites from artists like Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, and the Young Rascals.
1, 2, 3.
The album made the Billboard Top 20 and has been certified platinum 6 times over. The soundtrack also launched a comeback for 60s music that took hold in every corner of pop culture. It was so popular that it spawned a sequel album and changed advertising forever. Marketers realized that they could combine music and nostalgia to sell automobiles, sneakers, and even raisins. That's all I have for this week. I'm Danny Epperson, and I'll see you next time for WHRO's Cinema 15 and another classic movie.